welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Bob Hoey, sitting in for my friend Linda Bown from Tewksbury. 7 o'clock, the mayor, Danny Rourke's going to be here. I'm kind of excited about that. Right now, it's just myself. And
Bobby just woke up.
Yeah, I just woke up. I just got a phone call. Can you make it in today? And, of course, I'm going to make it in here for Linda. I'd do anything for Linda and Cliff and all the other people. Yeah. So this show is, to me, it doesn't cost me anything, and it's informational for me anyways, just sitting around with all these different people and listening to their discussions. It's like going to school. On Thursdays, when I'm sitting between the two people from Chelmsford, you know I'm in school then. Both of them are great people to be with, Sam Chase, Evelyn Thorman.
By the way, Sam's not coming tomorrow.
Okay.
And but Glenn's coming.
Well, I know I got to go into Boston tomorrow, but I can make the show.
Okay.
I got to go in there with the wife.
Okay.
You know how it is, doctors and doctors.
Yeah, yeah.
But everything's good in my family. Everybody's healthy. My wife's coming back strong, by the way, for all you to know. I do have one sister coming on this show on the 22nd.
Did she agree to it?
Yes, she did, and I'm sorry I didn't bring it up. Her name's Charmaine. She sells hearing aids, and she's just going to be informational. It's business.
Well, I'm looking to learn what's the difference between these hearing aids, because I mean,
Yeah.
you got all these different things that are out there. You see ads on Facebook, and you see ads on TV. And what direction? If you need a hearing aid, and then I got people who spent a fortune on hearing aids, and they don't like them.
Well, that's why you could enjoy my sister on the 22nd. And the reason why I'm bringing it up, I have friends that are older than me in their mid-70s, and they're going to call in. I believe someone will call in, because I always say a joke that my sister Charmaine can sell hearing aids to people that can hear. Their hearing is fine. They just want to go visit my sister. I'm just saying, that's what I say to all of them. They come to me and say, oh, she got me a pretty good deal, this and that. But you're right, John. It is another thing that's very expensive for people if you need them. You know, I work with a person that wears them, and if they don't have them, they don't hear you. It's as simple as that.
Well, some people...
It's important. It's important.
Some of my friends and relatives, their spouses will gripe to me that they don't wear their hearing aids in the house. So they wear the hearing aids everywhere else, but when they get home, they put them in the charger, so they walk around the house deaf. And the spouses, they're like, why can't you wear your hearing aid in the house? And they go, what?
Yeah, it's incredible. And if you don't keep working, see, I do work still. If you don't work, I don't know how people like that can make it anymore. Just with medications alone, I'm one example. I picked up two the other day. One is called Jardiance, $75. That's cheap compared to $90 everywhere else. And just a few strips that you poke yourself with, another $75. And then let's go talk about the metformin and the other drugs that you have to do to stay alive, I guess. I don't know. It costs a lot of money for people. And then at the end of the year, you're retired, and they're saying to you, you owe us $2,500 more in taxes. Okay, I'll take $50 a week out of my paycheck to pay that bill. 50 times 52 weeks, you basically have, right, your $2,500, a little over. And then this year, I owe them $800 more. I mean, give me a break. Give me a break. And I'm going to tell all your city councilors out there, you'll never get my vote if you raise taxes this year. Maybe next time around. This budget cycle, I don't want to hear any new taxes. I'm only one person. Property taxes, that's the only place you're going to be able to come and get money. And I don't want anybody to touch it. If you do, I'll just refuse to vote for anybody that is in favor of a tax increase in Lowell. And I know they're going to need it. They're going to have to cut a lot of things, even in the school department. We're going to have to start looking at cutting things. That's just my opinion, and that's what I love about this show.
Bobby, I had an argument the other day with one of our friends at Monday Night Dinner Club. My strategy to save money for the city is, when people retire, don't replace them. You got to prove to the elected body, be it the school committee or be it the city council, why do you have to replace this person? Why do we really need this person? Because these people who are like, we'll say a big shot at the school department is retiring, and we'll call her Linda Adorable. So Linda Adorable, she's a big shot at the school department. I don't care if you're in Drake, you're in Tewksbury, I don't care where, she's a big shot at the school department. Linda Adorable, she's retiring. Okay. The school committee has got to justify, or the superintendent of the school has to justify to the school committee, hey, Linda Adorable, she's indispensable. We have to have that position. Well, what does Linda Adorable's job do that her colleagues can't cover? Can we cover that with her colleagues and give a little raise to the colleagues? Give them an incentive to do that. That's what I want to do to save money. And this gal I was talking with, she likes to argue like I like to argue. It's a friendly thing. At the end of the day, it means nothing. It's a discussion. And she was ranting and raving. You don't know what it's like. And so I'm looking forward to seeing her next week.
Yeah, when you sit in a school committee and you watch it, you understand the budget. You probably don't understand unless you were like, who was the budget guy when I was there? Jerry Nutter. Jerry Nutter was always budget, and that's how they got Jerry Nutter to come in, check with the budget, play with the budget. We got a way to get Kafawi out of here. Oh, Kafawi.
He didn't like Kafawi?
No, 5 of them didn't like Kafawi. 4 of them anyways. They fired him right on TV. It was one of the worst things I ever seen in my life. And I know I'm different than usual Wednesday show, but I'm telling you, this election coming up is going to be beautiful. I'm in it, and I'm going to say a lot of things people ain't going to like to hear. But I'm sorry. This is my city. I love this city. And there's nobody that's going to back up a teacher more than I. I just came from, I told you this 100 times, a divorced family. Didn't have a mother, didn't have a father, lived with a grandmother, with uncles, stepping on their toes, moving in on their house, running up and down Whipple Street to head to the Rogers School to get the ruler. Oh, give me it on both sides, please. They're all dead now, most of them. They can't speak for themselves, but I wanted to give them guys a pay raise. They saved my life. Teachers. How about parents? I wasn't a good parent. I'm a grandfather. Now I'm over 70. Now I think I'm a good guy. I'm the best. But as a parent, I wasn't. My wife did it all. I was working 2 jobs all the time. I didn't have time to be a parent. Imagine how many with 15,000 students in the city of Lowell, what it's like for a teacher. Can anybody imagine what that's like? Thank God a teacher got paraprofessionals. See, those 2 things I'll never touch. I'd always increase if I could, but it's hard to increase because where are you going to find the money? And look at the poor people that work in the kitchens in our schools, how they're treated. Oh, boy. Wait till you hear the stuff we're going to have in this election, though. It's going to be beautiful. In the city council, I don't worry too much. You got a good mayor. Finally, we have a real good mayor. I work for 4 of them. And and then you got Eric Gitcher, and then a couple of more. I'm not going to mention a couple of more right now, but those 2 make my day. We're okay citywide. It's not easy. But watch the upcoming budget hearings, and I hope they all did their homework, because you know one person that did his homework.
Eric.
Everybody. Yeah, you can answer it. I don't even have to say his name. I'm going to stop saying his name as much, but I'm not going to stop working for him, because there is a group of people that want rid of him, and I don't blame them. I've worked for people I wish I didn't have to work for sometime, but if they do their job, they do their job. It's a rough business, and teachers have it the roughest in my eyes. I was a prison guard, only 20 years, folks. I didn't do 32 years. God bless every one of them that did 32 years. I did 20. I only wanted 60% instead of 80. That's an issue, in the school system. Some people want out of there. They don't have a retirement like me. 19 and leave at 39 if you want to. But you're only going to get 50%. You have insurance the rest of your life. It's a beautiful job when it comes to benefits. Oh, yeah. And they need prison guards, females too. My top 10, at least 2, maybe 3 females would be in my top 10 that I worked inside the walls for 20 years with. Females are real important in a prison. Want to know why?
Why?
When you're wrestling with some lifer, someone doing 30 years to life, and all they do is work out and do pull-ups and stuff, they're very strong. It takes a lot of us to handle that person, to get them handcuffed. And you'll have all these big prison guards, we all weigh over 200 pounds too, on one guy because he's in such great health. That's how we do it. We give him great health. And then you'll hear click, click. The little 100-pound female will get her arms through the crowd and put the cuffs on. It's like jewelry to them. And I always respected females in the prison. Go get a job there. It's a good job. It's not easy, but it's a good job. And my pension, I call it the eagle has landed at the end of the month. The check hits your mailbox. Because I only did 20 years, I only get $3,000, but thank you to the taxpayers of Lowell. Because every dime I put in it, I've collected that about 5 years ago. Now I'm on the dole, they call it, you know? So, but different pensions mean a lot more to me. And a teacher to this day is still underpaid, folks. Go ahead and yell at me. They're underpaid. A teacher with 32 years in that knows how to teach, because we have some that have to go, I understand that. But a good teacher with 32 years in that know how to teach, when we call them back, like we call people like me to do a pothole, watch that pothole for $75 an hour, we can't pay a teacher with that experience $50 an hour? We barely paid them $40. We didn't want to do that a couple of years ago. Are you kidding me? In this world? Think about that one issue. I told you what I was going to talk about today, a little bit about schools, John, but when the mayor comes, it will be all about the mayor, what he's done for the schools. He basically, in my opinion, basically saved the system.
Mark Ratman's watching out in Tewksbury.
Congratulations, Mark. I heard you won.
I'll put this picture up. Mark is never about himself. This is last night's gathering at the Tewksbury, let me change
Let
the
me say
angles
that.
here. This is the Tewksbury, Wilmington-Tewksbury Chamber of Commerce.
And Mark did the cooking, I bet.
And what they have is they have this food thing where all the restaurants in town come together and they have a feed bag. And I wanted to go to this, but I had a obligation. My favorite sister, I'm not going to get into personal detail. I had an obligation I had to take care of last night, so I did that. And I missed this. I went this 2 years in a row. Very tasty event. Drake had had one last week. All the restaurants in town were over to Lindsay's. But this is Wilmington Tewksbury's gathering at the Hilton that they have on Route 38. And so, great crowd. Mark, thanks for sending the picture in.
Yeah, good for him.
Sure, it was a very tasty night. Back over to you, Bob.
Yeah. So to slide back into some city issues, as far as I'm concerned, I'm only one person again, but I have a lot of followers and a lot of friends. And I try to tell them the police got to step it up when it comes to drug dealers. You hear me? Drug dealers, not the drug users. We need a different system, the ones we're trying to get off the street and in the bushes and under your bridges and all these other places. We need a different system. Go after, right now, for now, go after the drug dealers because they'll rat each other out. Lowell did it at one time, I forget exactly when. I know a person that was around at the time that was very interested in this issue. It was Robert DeMora. He was
Bobby is a good kid.
chief of police out in Fitchburg, I think. That's where he ended up in his career, somewhere out there. But at that time, when his early career, there was a few people like him, not just him, but they went after some drug dealers, and they can do it in Lowell. And that's the only way Lowell's going to come back. You could talk mental health to me all day long. I could care less. Right now, Lowell needs pressure on drug dealers. Simple stuff. I'm just using my prison mind a little bit. They will rat each other out over that dollar. And they're not just selling fentanyl, folks. Listen, cocaine's flowing into your city. It's been flowing in this city since about 1969, maybe 70. Cocaine will never stop, but you can stop the people that have made fortunes over it. Some of them flaunt it right out there in the world, the Facebook world and everything. This is how I'm living because that's what I sold. My point is, put pressure on drug dealers. Watch how fast your city improves. And we're not doing it. That's just me. One, they have 100 issues. That would be my most important if I was on the city council. Got to get rid of the drug dealers. How do we help the drug users? By what you're doing. Putting in a motion.
It ain't working, Bobby, I'm sorry.
No, it's not
It ain't
working,
working. When I
because
think-
all you're seeing, John, up there at the church in the South Common are drug users, not homeless people, not people that got a divorce and they got no money because they gave it all to their ex-wife. I mean, there's all reasons why they're in the bush, but I'm talking about the ones we still have up here, all drug
Bobby,
users.
we perpetuate the situation, okay?
Yes, sir.
The church, Elliott Presbyterian, they're trying to do the right thing. They're perpetuating the situation. They feed these folks, and it just gives them enough to stay in the lifestyle they have. Lori Trahan sends them a check, sends them money every month with their EBT card, and the system that they're utilizing is not working. One of my friends is an undertaker over in England, and I'm talking to him, and the big gripe over there is that people are pushing the envelope on the law, staying on public assistance, getting free housing, free this, free that. And they have 9 to 11 kids, and the father of the 11 kids lives in the house, but they're just not. The mother doesn't tell the government that she's married, and so it just skirts the whole law. What we're doing here in the United States is we give all these kiddos that are stuck on drugs an EBT card that's just enough to function in life. And they inch themselves along with it. They have free health care. It's called the Gold Card, the Mass Health Card. It's called the Gold Card. In order to get the Mass Health Card, you have to live in Massachusetts for 6 hours. Not even a whole day. Got to be here for 6 hours. And the Commonwealth of Massachusetts gives you free health care. There you go back. Free health care.
You know, I drive by that.
Zero.
I drive by that.
Not working.
I drive by that area daily, Sundays included. I've been watching people clean up their property on that street, the ones that own a home. But I also watch the housing project basically sell drugs right out of it. I've watched it for years. How? Driving an A&L taxi, or J&N, I should say, or Diamond Taxi, one of the taxis. I used to be able to tell the cops anything they wanted. What? It's simple. It's just simple. I mean, why aren't we busting these people that are selling the drugs? Why? That's something I'm going to have a hard time ever figuring
Okay,
out.
why are we subsidizing the drug addicts?
John, do you think these drug addicts, the ones that were sleeping on the sidewalk the other day up there, do you think they go in to try to get food stamps? They're gone beyond that. They
They
could.
get food stamps, Bob. No doubt about it. They get food stamps.
Well, I would like to see if they have them. I don't think they do enough that they could go in any office and sign up for something. I just don't think, I think they've gone
Bobby,
much
all
further
the
than that.
services that are out there, show them how to sign. You're not getting food stamps. Oh, sign here. And they get
Well,
food
if
stamps.
they can do
Bobby,
it
they
that-
sell the food stamps to the drug dealer to get more drugs.
There's no doubt
The
about
drug
it.
dealer will tell them to do that. A comment from the audience. When you have state that glorifies weed, the money, what do people accept? What do people expect? Good point.
Yeah, but then you can look at all the pills that the people are doing and all these other heavy drugs. What do you think? Who gave them that prescription? Doctors. People out of the housing. We're worried about trying to clean it up. You can't blame the city council. You got to look at the housing authority and say, what did you do over here at the Bishop Markham Housing? This isn't, go put up a tent. I'm telling anybody, try to put up a tent in North Common, or a few tents, see what happens to you there. Those people will rip your tent right out of the ground. They're not going to let you live around their children that way. Right in the North Common, go ahead and do it. You don't see homeless over in the North Common. Why? Why don't you see homeless in the North Common? They won't allow it. But the Bishop Markham, why do you see it there? It's full of Most of it, and I'm sorry, a few
your take,
people.
Bobby.
Yep.
I have
Let
a
me
different
just say, John,
Go ahead.
I'm almost done.
Listening to you.
The majority of people that have a real handicap in that Bishop Markham, they deserve to live there, and those poor people are living under fear. They're living under fear because other apartments, they found they can make money with Percocets and Vicodins and all these drugs. And most of your drugs in that little area definitely are coming out of your housing authority, and nothing's being done because it was a political hack drop. They put people in there that shouldn't even be in there, okay? They got big issues at the housing authority. I hope Eric Gitcher hears that one.
Well, so what are some of the issues that you're talking about, Bob?
What's that?
What are some of the, well, let me read this text.
Oh, there's, what, senators, state reps? Over the years, come on.
Okay.
Can you
good
get
luck
my
on-
mother in the housing authority? Can you get my sister in the housing authority? That goes on all the time. It's still going on, I bet.
And they lie right to your face. That doesn't happen. Yes, it does.
Yeah, it don't happen.
Good luck on stopping drug dealers. How about starting with legal drug dealers? Big pharmacy companies.
I agree.
From no, because they buy campaign tickets. They'll be at your party.
No, but my point, John, is this.
Sun's coming up.
You don't have to put a whole lot of pressure. All you got to do is just start with a few, especially if you do people with, let's say, popular names. And they go, oh, I don't want to go do 20 years, 30 years. And we're not doing it all. You got to put the fear of that in people when they're taking a risk to make their money off selling cocaine. Cocaine has wiped out so many families in the city of Lords. Bananas. So until I die, I'm going to be fighting this issue. It's just one that we should think about, that's all. You don't have to go in executive session or secret squirrel, you know. That's what they should have done for Kafawi. If you're firing a man, fire him in secret squirrel stuff. Don't do it right on live TV just to put your friend in as the next superintendent. Come on. Let's change our ways in Lowell, okay? Now I'm the revenge of Dr. Helen Flanagan, okay? You want to play those type of games, you're going to have to listen to people like me.
I'm gonna see if I can get Crapman to call in because he's sent me a bunch of pictures and I think it's a swearing in for the selectman that he had. I'm gonna text him. C-A-L-L in.
We got a Lowell guy out there in Tewksbury, Ryder, right? Eric
Yeah,
Ryder.
Eric Ryder, yep.
Yeah.
But he sent me some beautiful pictures, and I just would rather he describe who we're looking at here. So we'll see if he can call it.
Oh, you know he'll call in. Come on, you know
Well,
that's
sometimes he's
that's like me trying to call Eric to get Eric to call in. Say
he'll
the
send me
certain
stuff, and
thing.
then he'll run into a meeting someplace because he works for the highway people, Department of Transportation. He works for them.
DOT, yeah.
Yeah, so they start working early, so he'll shoot me pictures from the hallway and then run into a meeting. So we'll see. Oh, he's calling. That's good.
My granddaughter's coming back today, so I'm happy. I'm just hoping she lands safely. She went to
Hey,
London.
Mark, how are you? Can you describe these pictures? Okay. What's going to happen, I'm going to put the phone over to Bobby, and then I'll put the pictures up, and we'll go one at a time, okay? So hang in there a second. I understand. He'll describe who we're looking at. You know what you said, so hang on a second. I'll get Mark rapping in here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put him on speaker. You got me, Mark? Mark, you hearing me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So, this guy gone like this.
Let me start by saying congratulations, Mark.
Oh, thank you, my friend.
And it's John's fault for calling me in today, so he's going to get an earful. I'm all
I was
by
gonna say,
myself.
what are you doing on Wednesday? What's going on here?
Yeah, Linda's out today, but go ahead, buddy. John will put that up, and so congratulations, and I'm excited for you, and I know you were a supporter of my favorite guy, Eric Gitcher. I'd never forget that. You were at Cavalieros and a few other spots I caught you, so I appreciate you being a part of Lowell too, buddy.
So
All right, listen, we're all neighbors. You know, we got to work together. I deal with a lot of people in Lowell. I deal with a lot of people in Wilmington, Billerica, Burlington. We all work together. So, you know, helping each other's communities, supporting the people that take care of the people around us is very important.
Tell him who we see on the picture.
Who do we see on this picture right
He
now?
can't see the picture. You got to describe.
From left to right.
Big tall guy with glasses, then Mark.
Big tall guy on your right.
Oh, that's the, so the picture there, that's all the winners that have, from the last election. So you got like Jamie Cutlass, myself. Hold on one second. Let me bring it up so I can see which one I sent you.
Yeah, there's four women and 2 men.
Yeah, so it's,
This is
so
the
it's
Tewksbury
Jamie Cutlass. He's back on our school committee, served on the school committee for years. Then there's myself, and Rich Russo. So we both went on the select board. Kayla, so Kayla is back on the school committee. And that's our newest member of our planning board who just went on, Mr. Karen DeFucia. She made a big vote the other night, so she went right in and went to immediately. Then we got Melissa Braga, who's on the Board of Health. You know, so we get like it's all the people that have been on that just got reelected.
Who's the last gal on the right? You know, remember that?
Hold on a second. I'm trying to look at what the photo is.
She's got
Sorry,
the striped shirt on, way over to the right.
all right, hold on a second.
John, did we have a Russo on the show? I think we
Oh,
did.
yeah. He was here. He was here.
No, he
We lost
disconnected.
him. Okay, he'll call back.
Yeah, so what time we got? 6:30?
6:28, sir.
Look at that picture right there,
Yep,
beautiful.
nice sunrise over lovely Lowell. We're looking towards Belvedere and out towards Tewksbury. And beautiful, going to be a beautiful day, but it's chilly. If you look at the lower left-hand corner, you can see the flags flapping in the breeze, and it's like 29 degrees outside.
Yeah,
So
it's cold.
you got to drive little Bobby or little Linda to school today. Linda's not feeling tip-top today, so that's why there's no Linda. She called in, she texted in sick this morning. I got a text coming up, Bobby, then I'm going to put the camera back on you.
Yeah, so it's, there's Elm Street, beautiful place.
Okay, I'll read this to you. It says, Mr. Hoey asked, why are there no homeless on the North Common? My question to him is, why are there no homeless in the surrounding towns and communities?
Well, the majority of that answer should be where we have the best nonprofits around.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Let me just explain this to the audience, okay? Because I ask different counties, Chelmsford, Tewksbury, Drake, and they will tell you where the homeless live in their town.
Yeah, they know they got a few.
And they don't have the population that lovely Lowell has. But the reason that there are so many homeless in Lowell is when they get busted, well, the cops start to hassle them. So, well, where you want me to go? Go to Lowell. Go to Lowell. That's what they tell them. Go to Lowell. I have seen,
Lowell has all the drugs. Lowell has
I
them.
have-
Come here.
I have seen with my own, I'll put that text down so we can look at the sunrise. I have seen with my own eyes, police cruisers from Westford, Chelmsford, Billerica, dropping people off on South Street, which is where the Rogers School is. It's right around the corner here. Oh, I can move the camera.
You know,
It's even better. Move the
that's
camera.
okay. I love the view. It's beautiful.
So, this is South Street. And I have seen police cruisers from those towns come down this street, stop, tell a person to get out of the car and walk down the street. At the end of the South Street is the shelter. Say, walk down there, they'll help you out. That's what happens. So the town, when you give us, the townies will let you stay in town as long as you're not a troublemaker. If you're a troublemaker, you get herded. That's the word a police officer put into my area. You get herded to Lowell.
You know, and I love your opinions too, obviously. I love everybody's opinions. But where they come to Lowell, it's too easy to get anything you need. Anything you need. And I'm not just talking drugs. What else? Yeah, alcohol? Late night? Bars close late in Lowell?
A check, a free apartment.
No, but bars close late in Lowell. In the towns, they close earlier. So they all come from the surrounding towns into Lowell.
And see,
And some of our businesses would die if they didn't have that business.
my complaint for these people is that these not-for-profit, they don't have an end game. The homeless
No.
people, I think they're
Well-
called SMOC. They don't have an end game.
I have to just fight back a little bit.
Go ahead.
I do wish the city took the Elliott School. We didn't. Someone bought it. But that's not a bad thing because my sister and her Project Compass, they bought the building next to Hafner's. Now, this is the hot spot. I'm dying to see what she can do. I have a lot of faith in my sister and the people she's in there with. But all nonprofits are here for a couple of reasons. Most are here to help people, obviously. But there's money in nonprofits too, you know. When people, the average Joe John, hears nonprofit, they think, oh, they do things because they don't make any money or there's no money in
They're
it.
poor.
No, that's how people think, and when some of them do such a good job, I mean, my sister went in to help 18 to 24-year-old girls, right, that had babies, had nowhere to go. Took in something, I'll just take a guess, but approximately 80 different girls have been through her 2 little houses.
Yep.
And taught them how to save money and get a job and get on their feet. So to me, there's nothing for women. I mean, what do we have, Framingham? God forbid if your daughter ever accidentally kills someone with their car, they go to Framingham. That's worse than Susan Baranowski. How's that? Place is, to me, a dump.
Mark
There's
says-
nothing for females, nothing
Mark
at
Rabbit
all.
says he's trying to call back in. He has bad reception on the area where he's at.
Yeah. So I just think some nonprofits, to me, some got to keep their nose out of school business. You know, public schools they shouldn't be involved as much as they are into the Lowell system. I always thought that was a kind of violations, you know. But,
Just hit stop on that, Bobby.
yeah, hit stop.
Yes.
Doesn't even,
Stop?
no, it won't show me. No, there it
It
is.
stopped. Oh, good, good. Okay, Lowell's loaded up with social services, get funding from a problem that they don't want to go away. Cut
Yeah.
off the money. No, force them to have an end game. How are you going to get, okay, so we can take care of the homeless, okay, so how do we make this person become unhomeless? Well, they have rights. Well, what do we need to do to take away their rights? Oh, you can't take away their rights. We must take away their rights. We're paying them. They have to compensate us in a different fashion. So the person getting the money has to compensate the state in one way or another and forfeit your rights. Forfeit your rights to get you on a road to wellness. That's my solution. Thoughts?
Like, I only have one thought in my mind, and it's to keep the city safe. And the only way to do it is the way I'm thinking. I'll give you an example. Picture people that are in jail for a minute, okay?
Yeah.
When I left 15 years ago, one cigarette was worth $20. One cigarette. They would break it down. They'll break it down and sell it for $6-7 a piece and make sure they make a profit. That's all they're trying to do is make a profit. But $20 for a cigarette, they didn't want marijuana. They wanted tobacco.
What do you do with extra, so you're in prison.
So
What do
that-
you do with extra money?
You buy canteen, you get sneakers. You can get anything with money anywhere, even when you're locked down. And
And the authorities don't ask, where'd you get the money?
they'll watch you if you start living large. You know, you start getting things you shouldn't have in a prison, like a gold chain or a phone, something like that. But I'm talking about money to buy food. Food's the most important thing for you. But food and tobacco is $20 a cigarette. That was 15 years ago. Well, the same thing in the streets. If it's there in abundance, like, look, we're worse than Lawrence.
Going to put the camera back on you, Bobby.
Hey.
What we're looking at here is the wind, and it's 28 degrees. So drive little Bobby to school today. It's way too cold to let your kiddo stand on the corner for the bus. It's wicked cold out there, and the wind is whipping. Back over to you, Bob. Thanks.
Yeah, so someone called in earlier. They said something about relying on weed money. Well, there's not much money being made by the city on weed. I'm pretty sure we were making maybe $2 or $3 million off weed. Now it's gone to zero. You might want to call in when the mayor's here. He can tell you. I don't think we get much money on weed anymore.
Well,
You know,
Bobby, why?
it's like-
But you see, when I saw the marijuana companies coming in and to sell their stuff, it's much like saying, so you want to open a funeral home, huh? Okay. You want to open a funeral home in Lowell? We want 30% of your take. It's the mafia. Don't you feel that way? It's the mafia?
Oh, I feel there's dirty money in all those pot places,
I mean,
dirty
if you
money.
okay, so you want to open up a Target, and Target, they tell Target, you want to open up in Lowell? We want 30% of the take. That's how the mafia does stuff. How much do they get out? How much does the city get out of the drug companies? It's a mafia grab.
Yeah, illegal drugs.
What do they do for it? They don't do anything. They just take it. You want protection?
It's like the word illegal. There's illegal drugs, and then there's legal drugs. Doctors put you on something, you gotta be doing it.
Well, on the drugs.
Legal drugs.
If I were Trump, I would tell the drug companies, you have 3 years to replicate all these addicting drugs because they're coming. I will take away your license to make drugs. 3 years from now, I'll take away your license to make drugs. And if you put them out of business, they'll find a way to replicate all this stuff that are making our children addicts.
How do you feel about the border? You think the border's doing better now?
Yeah.
Make it even better. Put our army there. I wanted this years ago. Put the U.S. Army right across our borders and
Bobby,
protect our country
Lowell-
until we have to fight.
Lowell being the jaywalking capital of the world, okay, where there's this one white stripe at the end of the connector, and there's another white stripe at the Dracut line. And so you can cross anywhere because you're in the crosswalk of Lowell. I see these children with their headphones on, looking at their phone, walking right across Gorham Street into traffic. People beeping their horns at them and slamming their brakes. They can't hear them because they have their earphones in. And all it would take is a police officer, hey, come here, kiddo. Got any ID? A little bit of hassle. And all of a sudden, that little girl, or that young woman, or that young man, that boy, will start to use the crosswalk. Well, what'd you stop me for? Well, you have no right to stop me. Because that's how the kids talk to the cops, because they know the cops have a body cam now. And the cop just says, you didn't use the crosswalk. You didn't use the crosswalk, you're not paying attention to traffic. I have a right to ask you for your ID. You got no ID? Ooh, we're gonna get your mother down here. And once you start to hassle them just a little bit, everyone will find a crosswalk. What are your thoughts?
Right away, I start thinking of another issue as you're talking. I'm saying to myself, what can we do? Because what do they do about alcohol? Okay, I'll say this. My father owned a bar for 7 years, and I had a 10 bar on the second shift till it closes, 2 a.m. in the morning. I seen more violence in 7 years at the Gorham Tap on Gorham Street than I did 20 years in prison, and I did see my share of fights and riots and all that type of stuff in prisons, but not as much as I did in the Gorham Tap. The majority of the people that drank there are all dead, all gone, friends of mine, gone. And all I felt for 7 years was like I was trying to help kill them.
Gone way too
Watching them drink, listen, we used to, what they call Freeport, don't forget. Go back when I'm talking 1979, 80, 81, 82, 83, those years there. Cocaine everywhere on your bathroom floor, everywhere. And people free pouring alcohol. Where are all of them? And they were my friends. Where are they? And they're watching TV, some of them saying, oh boy, you know, it's true.
2 comments from the audience. How many people have been arrested for putting up a tent? I don't know.
Nah.
Unless the user want the help, the problem will continue and never go away. That's why I say we have to convince Lori Trahan, Ed Markey, and Elizabeth Warren to temporarily take away their rights.
You know, when you say that, the way that first thing is said, how many people have been arrested for putting up a tent? Well, the ones that are putting up a tent under bridges, on your railroad tracks, and there's many, many more out there than there are in the South Common. But they did something. They said you cannot put a tent up within 1,000 feet, I think the ordinance said, of a school. And that helped clean the South Common out easy. But once you go by the 1,000 feet mark, they can put up a tent. I want them to be sheltered, if that's what they have to do. But don't put it up in places like the South Common next to a school. And this city council fixed that problem. They did. But the drug problem is still very high, persistent.
Bobby,
It's
have you-
everywhere. They're looking like zombies in the city of Lowell.
What's
Come on, go out and drive around and look.
What's going on with the electric bike? Is the electric bike gone, dead, broken, your electric bike?
Right now, it's down, yeah, it's broken.
Okay.
Yeah, plus it's not a safe thing to drive around with. I want a bigger electric bike. I'll get one.
So I
I'll get
want to
one.
see, downtown Lowell's dead.
Yeah, well,
The
Lawrence
city
is,
council killed downtown Lowell with letting the homeless roam. And Monday Night Dinner Club, we don't eat in downtown Lowell anymore. We went to Cobblestones once, had a freaking fantastic time, delicious dinner, but they don't want to go back down there. They're afraid of the homeless.
and I'm glad you said that too. Now you bring that up. Here's your real big problem, and it's part of that, but it's who you're hiring as prison guards, as policemen. They don't want to be, you're not going to find any more who retired.
Hey, watch the
that are-
phone. Crapman might be calling in. So
Yeah,
if that lights
uh,
up, is it on, it could be on silent. Is he calling?
Hello, Mark?
You gotta hit speaker.
I don't see you. Hi, Mark?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, you're on there, buddy.
Hey, what's going on, Bob?
Not much.
Okay, we're gonna go back to the pictures there. So
Okay.
let me go and, so, okay, up on the screen, we got, a bunch of elected people. You're in the second guy is the last picture you sent me. What is, the girl way over the right there? Who is she?
There's Melissa Braga is the second to last, and I think the last one's Pamela Fave, who's
Okay.
new to the Board of Health as well.
Okay, great.
Hey, Mark,
Hey, what's going on?
John's just trying to fill in a show today, right? But I'll tell you, I'm glad to have you on here because why do I see Tewksbury making, it seems to me now, I don't read the newspaper, but I do pay attention. Tewksbury's making so many more arrests on drugs. I'm not sure if it's just because of the hotels near the highway or whatever, but that's what we were just talking about. Lowell needs to team up with Tewksbury and tighten down on drugs. That's all I was saying. We need to go after the drug dealers, but I know Tewksbury for the size of it. I think you guys do an outstanding job, the policemen. Outstanding.
Well, they have patrols that we know where you come off the interstate highway. And a lot of what happens is the drug dealers tend to come in and they want to hide. So what they do is they'll come in and they'll pull into a big parking lot off of 495, off of 93, whatever it may be. Go to like a busy place like a Home Depot, Walmart, motel, where the hotels are, Motel 6, places like that. And they'll meet somebody, and they do their drug transactions, and they think they can make their transactions, do it in a crowded area so no one's going to notice them, and then they hop right back on the highway. Well, the police, our police are aware of this, and they have people patrolling those areas. So if they see a car come in, pull up next to another car, they'll sit and they'll watch. If somebody gets out and has money in their hands or takes something from the other car and tries to drive away, they're going to pull them over. And pull them over for suspicion, and they'll say, what are you doing here? And they get a lot of them. So
They do a great job. That's what I'm saying. They do a great job. Lowell's not doing that type of job, but good for them in Tewksbury.
Well, they made it very clear that if you come and you try to sell illegal drugs in our community, you will be arrested. You will be prosecuted. So I find it amazing that the drug dealers don't realize that like out of all the towns you want to go to, Tewksbury is the last place you want to try that, because we have, like I said, we have dedicated patrols to those areas that will drive around, that'll patrol those areas and keep a watch out. And, it's almost like they make at least one or two major drug busts a day when they pull in to do it. And you would think they'd want to go someplace else, but I guess they're not figuring it out yet.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that comment,
So
Mark.
going back to the pictures here, Mark, I'm gonna put up, so right now on the screen, I got, the new guy that got elected with you, what's his name?
Russo?
Oh, yeah, Rich Russo. and
Rich
his
Russo,
wife,
he's standing next to the
Wendy.
standing next to the town seal with,
Yeah.
two women on the right-hand side.
Yeah, so it's his wife, that's Rich, and his wife Wendy. and Pam LaFave, who is actually Rich's mother-in-law, who is new to the Board of Health.
Oh, family business, good for them.
Yeah.
So now I got you standing with, that your girlfriend?
Oh yeah, that's everyone asks me, how I'm so lucky, but I hit the lottery with that one. That's my beautiful girlfriend Kelly. So
Yeah, she's a
I don't know
nice
what
gal.
she sees in me, but you know what? I'm lucky and I'm not questioning it.
She's a real sweetheart. Okay, now we're back at the extravaganza that you had last night for eating, and it looks like there's a woman with her back to us with two guys. I don't know who's in that picture, but let me move to a place where we can see a sign. Rocco's Restaurant. They're up there. It looks.
Oh yeah. So what it is? That's the Wilmington Tewksbury Chamber of Commerce. So last night, what we did is we had the taste of the town. So it's a really great event. So the Hilton Garden Inn, right off of 133,
Yeah.
gave us their function room for free. All the restaurants came down and donated food for free for everyone. And then we sold tickets at the door for people to come in and try all the different kinds of food, and nobody went home hungry. And as they all came in, we had the kids from the DECA that were helping us do it, all volunteers that came down, and 100% of the money that was raised is going to scholarships for kids in Tewksbury, Wilmington, and Shawshene Tech.
I got Callahan's Pub up now, and all these
Yep.
restaurants came in and they brought this food.
Yeah, so they all brought a little bit of something. It was like we tried to get a little bit different. So we had like Rocco's from Wilmington and TJ. Dawn Callahan, she's a sweetheart. She's just always doing something in the community, and she donated food. A lot of these people not only sent their staff that they paid for, sent the free food, and then they even donated gift certificates to come visit their restaurants afterwards. So it was a real nice charity thing for the community.
Yeah, I got the 99 up there now, and always good grub there. Look at that.
Yeah, it was 99. I think, right before that, you had the guys from Tres Amigos. I'm watching you on the YouTube, so I'm on
That's-
second or
that's
two
Three
times so I
Amigos?
can follow you.
That's three Amigos is right there. Okay, I put them back up again.
Yeah.
Plenty of good grub
Yeah,
there.
those are the guys from Tres Amigos. So they have the Mexican place. It's like up by the John Ryan's Pub. They got a restaurant in Malden, and they opened a new one up here last year. Food is fabulous. Everyone loves it.
And now I got,
Now we got the people from Bree Lundy's. That's the new restaurant that's right down by between Town Hall and Old Boston Road.
Yep.
The Bree Lundy's stands for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's what the name stands for. And they brought all kinds of food down, and it was great because you got to sample all the restaurants, different types of food. So they all brought a little bit something different.
okay, now we got Bayberry.
Yep. So, Bayberry Housing, the assisted living. Well, I find it funny. You would think you were going to a wedding with them, but they have their own chefs there. And so what they do is they provide food for the residents that live there, and they come and they bring their chefs, and they bring the food, and the food is you would think they were catering a wedding. And the food is fantastic.
I richly agree. I remember having a feedback off them last year. Fantastic stuff. So now we got
Yeah.
the Hilton Garden Inn up there. We got a gal
Yeah,
with a
so they have their own. That's the young lady who is like she runs the place there. She's the one who donated the room to us, and they also have their own. They have a restaurant right inside the place where they do like a lot of breakfast and lunch and stuff like that. They're really getting it up and running, and so they provided food as well.
Okay, now we're gonna have the Red Heat Tavern is up there now.
Yep, Red Heat Tavern. That's off of 129 in Wilmington. Great restaurant. That's where we had
The annual meeting.
Annual meeting, John, when he
Oh.
came over to.
I had a taste for. I ate some of the wrap there. Oh, delicious spot. And I got to meet John Curran that day too. Good guy.
Yep.
Good guy.
He was there last night, and pretty much every elected official was there last night, just walking around. All the coaches, all the kids were there. We had probably, I don't know, little less than 200 people coming in and out.
All right, the crowd picture should be coming up in a second. There's the crowd picture. Good crowd, Mark. Good crowd.
Yeah, no, it was like I said, that was like half the room right there in that picture. So I just kind of was standing in the middle taking the pictures, and the place was filled. Everybody came in. We had raffles. We had a great time. It's like actually right in that picture you can see Arthur Costa's wife. Arthur was on the board of directors with us, and he used to run he ran the Rotary, and he used to run this Taste of the Town, and then he came on the chamber with us. He passed away a couple of years ago.
Wasn't last year's
we're having the first Arthur Costa Scholarship Award for him. So his wife's going to come and present it with us. So it was a nice event, and to honor some people as well.
Very nice. Very nice. So, Mark, looking at the political crowd, I'll put their picture back up again. The new electees. What kind of orientation to the new? I'll wait till that picture comes up where you can look at it. I'm watching the YouTube feed.
I mean, like Jamie to the left over there, Jamie was on the school committee for years and years. So, I mean, he served on the school committee for at least a dozen years. He took a break, and then he's coming back because they're doing a lot of things. I mean, I've been doing it for a decade. Rich was on the school committee.
Yep.
So now he's coming over to the select board. Kayla has been on the board for a little while. So this is, I think, her second or third term doing it. And it seems like she's been around forever doing it. But her husband's a firefighter in the community. They do a lot of volunteer stuff. They got little kids. It's like, you want to have the parents involved. So that it's great to have parents that are on the school committee, that know what the needs of the kids are. And Kayla's got her, she's always around talking to people, working hard. She's awesome. Can't ask for a better candidate than that.
So, Mark, what kind of orientation I mean, you've been there for like a long time, and a lot of the other people, that's not their first time at the rodeo. Do you go to orientation? Is there any orientation to help?
Yeah, I mean, what they do is, you meet with the board members, you go in and you meet with the town manager, you go and you meet with the town clerk, you meet with the people, you got to do, public records law, ethics, all those different things of what you go on. And then what it is a lot of them, meet with the chair or the vice chair, and they get to introduce them. The nice thing is all the meetings are recorded, so anybody that's going on wants to do their due diligence and know what's happening. You can go in, you can watch the meetings from the last couple of years to see what's happening. You can ask the questions, and the town manager has an open door policy where you come in, you meet with them, you talk about what questions, concerns, why you're running. I mean, most of the people that are running for office have a passion because either they want to get involved or something's not going the way they want it to go, and they want to make a change. So they're pretty knowledgeable about what they want to do and why they want to serve on the wards.
Mark, before I let you go, and I appreciate you sending these pictures, they're great stuff. Homeless. Bobby and I were talking to homeless. Well, Linda Bound's out sick today, so I called Bobby at like 5 o'clock this morning, and he scooted over here just to fill in for Linda. We're talking about homeless. There's homeless that live in Tewksbury behind Walmart. Where else, other than behind Walmart, do they live that you can speak of?
I can't say not a lot, but you never really know. Because what happens is, if there's a place that they can find that they can put a shelter, that they're in a place that you wouldn't know where they'd be, there's one of them that's right off the ramp off of 495. And the police department get down there and talk to them. A lot of it is mental health issues, drug addiction, or other circumstances that, something may have happened, a tragedy may have happened. Who knows what's coming on that forced them into this predicament. But we have our police, our social services, our health department, everybody go out and reach out to the people and say, listen, there's no need for you to be living in a tent. We have services, we can provide shelter, food, we can find a way to get you back on your feet if you want it. The problem is if they don't want to take it, then all we can do is say, listen, you can't stay here, we're going to move you out of here. they tend to get their belongings and then they shuffle down the road and they find another place to do it. So it's hard because it doesn't go away. They just find another location. So you may move them out of one place, but then they'll go and they'll find someplace, a half mile away, a mile away, and like, oh yeah, this looks great. No one's going to notice me here. They put up a tent. They put it in the back, like, behind, buildings that like you can't see them. A lot of them you see them in Lowell, like around by the water, down by the things, because there's brush there that you can hide in, and they put up the things, and it's a difficult thing, and honestly, you move them out of one place, they're going to find another location. So it's like it's just a shell game of moving them around, and we try to find them, beds, locations, help. We got food pantries, we got shelters, we got places that can help them. But if they don't want it, then it just becomes that's the challenge.
Well, Mark, you can't know everything, so maybe you don't know the answer to this question. But I suspect all these homeless people are walking around with an EBT card and a Mass Health card. What's your experience?
I don't know, but it's a rough. Here's the challenge, and it really is. Do you want to be heartless and not try to help them? Because this is where the challenge is good. Because if you got people that are down on their luck, and they have some, like I said, a lot of it is drug addiction or mental health issues. And so, you have the churches, you have the people. It's like, these poor people, we're going to go and we're going to provide the meals. So they come and they know they're going to come to a location. I can go here. I can sleep all day when civilization and rest of the population is doing their regular life. I wake up at night, and then that's what happens is they're strolling around the towns when everybody's asleep, and they're doing their drugs, they're doing whatever it may be. But then they're going to the churches and the shelters and things, and they're providing them meals, providing them food, they're giving them everything that they need, and then they go during the daytime and they sleep in these places. And, so the only way to, like I said, you don't want someone to struggle. You want to try to help them, but the hard things is the real help they need is some real. Either get them off the drugs or find them the mental health, advocates that can help them, and find them, get to the problem, the heart of the problem. Because feeding them and just constantly giving them food and vouchers and things like that is just feeding the problem.
Have to stop that alarm bell.
Now there's places where they'll actually give them clean needles and they can use their drugs all the time. So it's just, it's almost like you're advocating for them, their bad behavior.
Hey, Mark, we got to leave you there because we're coming up on break time. God bless you. Thanks for calling in. You are the best. And we're going to see you, I think, next week.
Yep. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Mark.
See you later,
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good morning, welcome to City Life. I'm Bob Hoey, the host today. I got the mayor sitting next to me, Danny Rourke, and behind the camera, John McDonough. I'm replacing Linda Bond. She has the day off today, so John called me up at 15 past 5 saying, can you get over here? I said, sure. Never asking him who was on or what I'm coming to, but it's really exciting to have you here next to me, Mayor, because I talk about you quite a bit, buddy, on my Facebook, and number one issue for me is schools, always been schools. It will be schools to the day I die, and I'm a pro-teacher type of guy. It's not an easy job you're doing, but when you ever came out with that motion right away for Liam Skinner, I almost jumped through the ceiling. I really did. It was that big to me because I think it's important to have a career ladder, no matter what you are, probation, policeman, correction officer. If you don't have a career ladder, it's not a good thing. And in Lowell, people didn't feel like there was one until your motion hit the floor, buddy. So I want to tell you, face to face, congratulations to what you did for me in the schools.
Yeah,
That's
thank
all.
you. Having Superintendent Skinner in there, you said, started out as a teacher and climbed the ladder over 30 years, and he's doing a good job now. It's as you know, it's not the easiest job in the world, probably one of the most difficult jobs to have, and especially in a city like Lowell. But he very proud of him and his administration what they're doing, and just keep on going.
Yeah. And then you got the city side of issues.
Yeah.
Before you came here, we were banging it out on different things, but the stuff that I think about is always drug problems. You know how it is. It's a big issue in Lowell. I seen what you did for the homeless. To me, we started off on the right foot. It's going good. South Common staying clean every day. The police are patrolling it all the time. People on them streets down there that own homes are actually fixing their homes right now.
Yep.
Some people have bought. My sister and her company there, Project Compass, bought the place right next to Hafner's on Appleton Street. Someone bought the Elliott School. I wish we got that, but we didn't. Someone bought it. But I just see nothing but positive things in that area, and I hope, and you did a great job, and I hope you keep your foot down on that issue because they deserve it in the South Common.
Yeah, it's one of the things we noticed, and we're hopeful coming out with the spring and the weather getting better, that we can maintain, the clean South Common, and I think the more activities we can bring there, whether it's playing league games, soccer or whatnot, but I think the more public uses that it gets, the better off that will be. And I think the city's done a good job through grants and our DPW of cleaning the place up, keeping it clean. I know John knows that they're out there every other day, picking up trash and needles and tent encampments and things like that. But that seems to have calmed down, and well, hopefully that's not because of the weather. Hopefully that's because of all the good work that's been done by our co-op team, the homeless coordinator, our health director that are there almost on a daily basis. And that's what we're looking to maintain going forward for the spring and summer. Because, I know we talked about this a couple of months ago when I was on. The South Common used to be where the Lowell Folk Festival started. And that's where it used to end as well, And, there used to be fireworks and people would be all, sitting on a hill and there'd be music. And that's where we like to get back to in the future.
Great.
And it would be nice if you guys could come up with something to relight downtown, because the torch of downtown being a place, a destination, a target to go, the homeless killed that. And so it's up to the downtown community to say, okay, what are we going to light the fire to get people come down here again? And because the homeless now, to my eyes, are gone from downtown. And but still, Monday Night Dinner Club, we went to dinner at, I'll put the camera on me so you guys can sip your brews over there, whatever you're drinking today. And Monday Night Dinner Club, we went down to Cobblestones, delicious. Scott Plath has a great organization down there. We had a great time, no problems, but they don't want to go to downtown because they're afraid of the homeless. I said, the homeless are gone. And so how do we get that message out to the community? I don't...
Yeah,
Looking
it's funny you mentioned that.
Looking for ideas.
Last night, we had a subcommittee, an economic downtown subcommittee, and we talked about our the bid stuff, which is business improvement district, and that's what we want to do in downtown. It's businesses, it's restaurants, places of commerce that get together, and they can come up with some strategies where they kind of network and help each other out. Councilor Janess is the chair of that one, and they had a good discussion last night about it, and it's always an improvement. One of the things that has hurt the downtown over the last, I'd say, 20 years maybe, is second and third floors. A lot of first floors downtown are filled, but the problem is with lack of elevators, hood systems in place. That really kind of hurts. Why would with a doctor or an attorney, insurance company go on a second and third floor when all you have is a staircase? And we have put in place some grant opportunities for some building owners to look into getting elevators. But as we've talked about before, even with the library, I think there were maybe $400,000 it cost to do that elevator. So that's what you're looking at as far as costs for things such as for elevators. And also we had a couple of motions recently where we are keeping in contact with those building owners to say, hey, look at your place has been empty for 6, 8, 9, 10 months. What's the roadblocks in place to help get those filled? And our economic development team, again, constantly reaches out to see how we can be of assistance. And at the same time, we have to make sure that the building owners are doing their part as well. And that's the fight we have with our downtown and being an older, area. And but I do think that, to your point, John, people have said to me before, at night I'm not comfortable going downtown. I don't like to walk and things like that. But I have certainly noticed, a much cleaner downtown. Not as much, vagrancy or people asking for money at corners and streetlights. And again, that's a credit to the police department and to our DPW for keeping it clean. The street sweepers are out there twice a week, I believe, and whether it be Monday morning or Friday morning to get ready for the weekends. We have made a effort to improve the activities downtown on weekends. Not just Winterfest, the Folk Festival, but we have music series and we have a beer garden that comes up in the spring and summertime. Stuff like Jack Kerouac festivals and things like that. So again, the more attention you can put down to it, the more that you bring outside people into the downtown. Very similar to the South Common. I would love to have a festival over to South Common a couple times a year, right? It's something that brings people in, that tells those that use the South Common as their, I guess, home. That this is for the public. This is for positive activities within the city, and that's where I think the main focus has been over the past number of months, and hopefully that's where it continues to go in the future.
I think you're going to get your wish because Ned Tommy's working on getting a carnival in the South Common.
Yeah. I talked to that. Saw Ned the other day. Hopefully he's doing well. I haven't seen him in person in a little bit, but yes, that'd be fantastic. A 10-day carnival down there where you're bringing in kids and activity and positive stuff going down there. That'd be great.
Comments from the audience. First one's for you, Bobby. Is Hoey part of the Monday Night Supper Club?
Yeah, when I go, I don't go to a lot of places. I got to watch what I eat, and so I only pick certain times that I go. Yeah.
Page 2. Respectfully, the homeless infiltrated other areas in the city. The problem didn't go away. It's out of sight, out of mind. Jay, Mark Ratman spoke to this. Mental illness is part of the issue, and I think that the government's got to restrict these people's rights as long as they have a right. And Danny will tell a story about. Danny, would you remind the audience? You had a bus sitting there at the South Common trying to pick people up. Tell the audience.
Yeah.
That mental illness is our big problem.
This was over a couple of years ago now. I should have known, maybe October morning, 2022 maybe. And the city brought a school bus over to the South Common with our co-op team, fire, police, mental health, a health coordinator, a homeless coordinator, and they went to every single person that was at the South Common that morning. And they said, hey, look we can help you. We'll bring you to the hospital. We'll get you medically cleared. We'll get you some assistance. We'll get you evaluated. And not one person took the city up on their offer to head down to Lowell General to get checked out. So, it's a choice that people make. Some of them don't have choices because of their mental health issues and drug addiction. But at some point in time, we have to decide, how do we make the park safe, the city safer? And that's where the ordinance had come in about 6 months ago now to ban encampments of all kinds. And the city continues to visit camps, and it's always more. We're very proactive in this with our teams going in there and trying to assist people. We're not trying to punish anyone. We're trying to help. But again, when you have an instance like that where a homeless count could be in the mid 200s, and there's 75, 80 people down at the corner one morning, and we asked every single one of them, "Do you want help?" And every single time they were given a no answer. That kind of leaves us in a very tight situation, difficult spot.
I have to back it up a little bit because I do a lot of videos on homeless, and I was on the bike path there that goes out to Chelmsford, and a cruiser pulled right up when they seen me using my phone to video it.
Freeman Trail, yep.
They pulled right up with a cruiser with two type of clinical specialists in the vehicle with the policeman. And that's all I'm saying is, as long as we're doing things like that to keep people safe and keep the theft out of people's backyards, that's all we're looking for. I think that's what I'm looking for. Out of sight, out of mind, that's a good thing. Because this city councilor and this mayor at least keeps them away from the schools, that's all. That's all they did. Pushed them 1,000 feet away from schools because children shouldn't be watching that stuff.
Who's responsible
But I
for
thi-
Shattuck Street? It's the worst. It's worse than before. That's from Jay. To remind the audience where Shattuck Street is,
Yeah.
downtown Lowell. Here's Middle Street. I think what the guy's talking, Subway's up here, in Merrimack, and these are all the streets, but this is Shattuck Street here. We put cobblestones down, and I guess the cobblestones are sinking in.
Yeah, that's been a cobblestone road forever. And it kind of keeps the history of the city. But we constantly doing work on Shattuck Street. I remember, John, years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago, we actually tried making it a two-way street, which ended up being a disaster for about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Went back to the one way. But
Any plans to make it smoother?
yeah, so again, when you get into the downtown part of the city, you're dealing with different kind of regulations than you would be maybe in Centerville or the Highlands or Pawtuckaville. Historical background, historical restrictions come into place. As far as the road itself, I know that the sidewalks have been worked on. And I'll go ahead and check it out again. Working downtown, I haven't noticed a difference in the deterioration of the road, but I'll take Jay's suggestion and check it out.
Yeah, and I'll bet you something to do with historic stuff too, to keep the road like it is, But if you live in Lowell, I basically try to avoid that street. I don't even run down it unless I have to, But it's old-fashioned look, I think. That's
It
what
is
they're
100%
looking for.
Bob, you're right. Yep.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
too bad, so.
But going back real quick just to the homeless, I think the city council, since I've been alive, has done more for homelessness than I've ever seen.
Yeah, we went through a stretch there for, it seemed like almost a year, if not longer, where every single council meeting, we had either motions or we had people speaking on it. We had those that provided resources come in to tell us about it. And I think it's working. We have pushed the manager, into a position where, it's time to take a hard line stance into it, all the while, again, continuing to offer resources first. A way to get help, and if that doesn't work, then that's where you see arrest for trespassing and things of that nature. Warrant sweeps that we do all the time. You can always tell in the morning when I get to work, based on the number of arrests that Lowell PD has made. If there was a sweep that had been done. You walk in and there'll be 36 arrests or 41 arrests, and are they the worst crimes in the world? No, it's trespassing, it's simple possession things. But again, as you said earlier, Bob, when near schools, when it affects the kids, that's where the line is drawn, and that's where we come in. And over a period of time, when you see the same faces come before the court, time after time after time. Lowell Police has been great in filing what they call Section 35s, and what that is a petition when somebody is unable to take care of themselves, they're a danger to themselves or to others through out of their control, whether it be drugs or mental health, and then that's where the beds come in, right? We talked about that a million times, where the availability of beds for these people to go to, and again start the initial phase of evaluation and medically clearing them. Going forward, and that's where, again, it really is a partnership between the police, the state system, the court system, mental health facilities, nonprofit organizations. As you said earlier, the Project Compass place that just opened up recently. We have VinFin now. That's in two different areas in the city. Out, I think one's on George Street and one's out on Varnum Ave. So, all hands are on deck with this, and I truly believe you are starting to see an improvement. We're going to get to the next couple of months where spring and summer come, and we'll see what we have going forward there. But the more activities we can have, it's another positive thing.
Comments from the audience, if you can't use the buildings because of elevators, the buildings must be outdated and need to be replaced.
To replace a window in downtown business, because again of the historical
You
restrictions.
gotta be near the mic, Dan.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Historical board and the restrictions, they're there for, and for the most part, it's a good thing. But I can tell you a story where, a downtown business owner had a window smashed over a weekend, and he had to go 2 or 3, 4 times in front of the board to get the right type of window to be replaced. And that's the part that, is difficult at some point in time, to get rid of a building downtown. I'd say good luck. But that's where, we're trying to,
Bottom of the screen
Yep.
is one of those new street sweepers the city bought, just happens to be in the shot, waiting in traffic. That's one of the new street sweepers. They drive like a bat out of hell, but they do a fantastic
Pick it
job.
up, yeah.
It's amazing to watch these guys work.
You
Next
know-
comment says, and the people are also making a choice not to come to Lowell. To the mayor's point on a choice. That's from Jay. Moving right along. The city took a bath on Shattuck Street repairs, total waste of money. And I got one more comment from this guy and he's got a picture too. Oh boy, way too much stuff here. And the people are also making a choice, okay. And he has a picture of, let me slide this into the screen here. Way too big. I gotta shrink this up a little bit, but this guy's making an example of, this is Middle Street. This is the former press club. I forget the name of what they call it now, but it's all the water in the street. So if you're a wheelchairian, it's pretty rough, whether it's dry or wet. It's pretty rough passage on Middle Street. Is there any plans to sweeten up the ride for wheelchairians on Middle Street? That wheelchairian's my weird, not yours.
Obviously looking at that's the old court, obviously, Middle Street going down, another cobblestone or brick road, and that's obviously there's something right there with a little bit of water buildup, and take a look at it.
Thanks, Dan.
You know what I would put in your mind, because you are the mayor, just so you know, back in around the late 70s, early 80s, we had a lot of people that were lighting their buildings on fire. And we've had a few fires recently. That's my concern a little bit, because if they can't fill their buildings and they're not making money, I worry about fires. Because we had some history about fires, and we had Mr. Harold Waterhouse was his name on the police department.
Yeah,
So that's something else,
investigator, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's something else that has to be in your mind too, that you got a fire department, and you guys are doing so much for the fire department. It's good stuff, man, you guys. I think you're killing it, by the way, as mayor again. But look at what you're doing about fire hydrants and the safety for firemen inside those houses. I have some great friends that have gone early doing that job, They passed away in the past few years, firemen. So another one, I just want to pat you on the back about that.
Jeff Thomas reminds us that the city didn't pay for Shattuck Street repairs. It was a National Grid job. Interesting point. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, that's Jeff makes a great point overall. Is when repairs are done to streets, whether it's pipes or wiring and stuff like that, it's on the contractor to repair the road afterwards, and that's where I think the city needs to come in maybe a little bit harder with the inspections to make sure that the job is done correctly. I know. So a suggestion has been made is, could we hold out the last payment to the contractor, after the road's been inspected, after we make sure that everything's been done, and in different contracts in the past, I'm sure, as Jeff knows this, that are not the same as they are now, which I think the city has done a better job into making sure that, those repairs are done correctly, on the right grade and things such as that, to make sure that, the safety of it, as you saw over there on Middle Street, is done correctly.
That's a big issue.
It is, yeah.
Potholes, yeah, it's huge.
We have hired, we went out and we have also an outside contractor that's come in for pothole repairs. We utilize our 311 system now. I think the manager told us last week, not last night, but last week's meeting, over 1,000 requests have been put in on our 301 system, and all of those are potholes. And I have noticed, potholes I've seen in the past that have been filled, quicker. When tickets are put out on the system, it goes right to where it should go, what department should be at. And I think you see that quick turnaround through the system that has been put in place by the council.
Yeah, of all the issues we've talked about so far, you've been here, which it's not even 7:30 yet. That's incredible to me, how many things you've touched. But I want to say this because you probably can't say anything. You work in the court system. But I have a family member that was saved by a judge, made the right decision, caught my family member lying to him, and sent him away with a ankle bracelet on down in the Quincy in a dry house for a year. Saved his life. One judge in Lowell. Too bad we didn't have more judges like the person. And that's a way bigger than the mayor issue. Across the country, judges are a big part of this issue. When you got the right one, you can get your person and your family saved.
Yeah, I've spoken
It's a big issue to
I've
me.
spoken to the judges that serve in Lowell, and they see Lowell as their second home, and they, they're there every day, and I think, as you talked about before, is, they want to see the city do well. And I think, as you see the same faces come before, the court over and over again, now you realize, okay, now, Joe, I've seen Joe 4 times in the past 2 months, right? What's the issue here? What can we do? And that's where, we dig deeper into evaluations and placement. Are we hopeful that placements could be, like you said, Bob, 6 months to a year? Back in the old, 25, 30 years ago, yes, that would be the case now. We have seen people go in front of the court system, in front of a judge, and the judge has sectioned the person, and it used to be a minimum of 28 days, and now that person's back out in the street in 5 to 7 days.
Yeah, it doesn't
So
make
what kind of help does that person get, right? And that goes to the lack of available beds to be put in place, and that's where our constant fight is, right? Is to find placement for these individuals. The biggest thing you want to see, and I think in anybody that has, a drug or alcohol issue, is they have to want the help. And I think if someone wants the help and we can provide it for them, someone, has a come to Jesus moment and they say, okay, yes, this has taken a toll on my life, my family's life. I want to go somewhere to get some assistance. And then a week and a half later, they say, okay, now you're out on your own, and so what are we doing for that person? Not much.
I
So
watched it for 20 years, Dan.
I
seen some of the worst heroin addicts you'd ever see walk in. The first thing you have to do when they walk into a prison is strip them down. And you look at the poor guy and go, oh, my God. Inside you're saying that. 90 days later, we have them looking beautiful.
Right.
We do help, but
Right, 90 days, not 5 to 7 days, right?
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
We do help them. I'm not saying we should incarcerate them all, but incarceration works for the real bad ones. It works. It does. I've witnessed it too many times. Brought their life back, and they went back to their family. People don't see those numbers, though.
Right, that's the goal.
Yeah, all we talk about is the ones that keep coming back, But, yeah, it's a bigger issue than the city. I think the issue is at the state level, they have to change something, that's all.
Yeah, the more beds available, the better off everybody's going to be. And we haven't even gotten into the mental health aspect of it all yet. I said this over 100 times before just on the show alone. The last study that was done, every crime that's committed in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, take away your simple driving offenses like driving without a license and stuff like that, 84% of all crimes committed have a drug or alcohol background to it. Whether it's a bar fight, domestic violence, theft, larcenies, either supporting a drug habit or it's because of their addiction that these crimes are being committed. So that's where we're at.
How about that thing you got going out there at Cawley with all your friends? There's some type of building that's supposed to be built?
Yeah, so
someday?
thanks for bringing that up. I know Matt LaLasha and the Lowell Activities, foundation that they have going on out there have raised a ton of money, through fundraising grants. In the Lloyd Trahan has helped out, the state has helped out, city has helped out. I think they're about $7-8 million in right now, which is great. It's going to be a little more. The big holdup we have is the concrete grandstands, right? That's the biggest issue I think that remains out there. Once we can find a plausible solution to those grandstands, and everything else falls into place. We already have locker rooms that are going to be paid for. The renovated bathrooms that are going to be paid for. We're going to have a snack shack that's already going to be paid for. There's a walking trail that's going to be put in place. You have seen some improvements already. The Carvalho Field looks tremendous. We had a grand reopening last year for it. It's top of the line field that can be used year round, and we have a new turf over at College Stadium. So it's getting into it years ago. We knew it was going to take some time. We didn't want to take this long, but it's sometimes the speed of government. But we're very hopeful for what's going to be in the future of that. We would like to have it coincide with the completion of the renovation at the high school downtown. But Matt and his team are doing incredible work out there to just improve the quality of life for our student athletes. And College Stadium is somewhere where everybody goes and plays their game, so it is a citywide issue, and has been recognized as such. Again, in this council and council before, have put a lot of time and energy and money into Colley, and the renderings of what it's going to be when it's completed are fantastic. But you are starting to see some progress now with the field turfs being put in place.
Yeah.
We got new practice fields that are going to go in. Another practice field is going to be a turf field too. So, less upkeep but more usage, which is great, and very, very proud of Matt and those guys.
Yeah, it's a great thing to hear. And that Shed Park, I know Brian Durkin was one person. They raised over $50,000 just to, I believe, to put a concession stand up at the girls softball field and shed up a.
Yep,
So
that's
just to
coming
help you
I'm going to
have.
barge in with the announcements. Got 10 of them. Today is the Tewksbury Health Fair out at the Tewksbury Senior Center. Starts at 1 o'clock, 1 to 4 this afternoon. Consider popping in out there and see what they have to offer. It's all free, and it's the gigantic parking lot is behind that building at 174 Chandler Street. That's at the Tewksbury Senior Center, and it's 1 to 4 is their health fair today. We got Corey Belanger's party is coming up Thursday, April 10th. It's tomorrow. And at the Long Meadow Country Club, a campaign kickoff party for the committee to elect Corey Belanger invites you to Corey Belanger, Lowell City Council, District 3, Belvedere campaign kickoff, Thursday, April 10th, 5:30 to 8. Long Meadow Golf Club, 165 Haviland Street in Lowell. Community Commitment Courage, suggested donations start at $20 and go up. If you're going to make a checkout, make it out to CTE, Corey Belanger. Sexto de Jesus, he's having a party tomorrow also. Join us, Sexto, for the Lowell City Council campaign kickoff fundraiser, Thursday, April 10th, 6 p.m. Join us for Sexto de Jesus campaign kickoff. The event, keeps repeating it, the same words, at Kato Asian Fusion Restaurant, that's the bottom here. And 72 Merrimack Street in downtown Lowell. And hope to see you down there, and good for him. So that's at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Moving right along, free health clinic at lovely Lowell, Mass. These guys were here yesterday. Free health clinic on Saturday. Fantastic. Just go to where the Elks used to be. It's called Larson now. And it's right behind the new Market Basket in Pawtucketville. And if anything's ailing you, I don't care what it is, you want a second opinion or something's just bothering you, want to get checked out by a medical professional, it's all free. You don't need insurance, nothing. Just show up. They would like you to register, so you take your smartphone out of your pocket, put it in camera mode, and you zero in on this QR code. It'll bring you to a questionnaire. You can register. You don't have to register. They would like you to register, but you can just show up if you want to. That's
John, can I interrupt?
Go ahead.
And you don't need insurance.
Right.
And if you don't have it, go to this. Get the bus up there, go to this, get checked out, and they might even be able to help you get on Mass Health. So
This is their third one. It's
Yeah.
free. It's a real fantastic service to the community. There's no handout. They're not going to ask for money. And if you need medical insurance and you're poor, they'll find a way to get you on Mass Health. You can apply for Mass Health when you're there if you're interested. So it's a good thing. Hope to see you up there on Saturday for a wellness check. Puppy pics. If you want to dress up your dog, and you can see a dog in the lower right-hand corner, dress up your dog. You can live any place you want. You don't have to live in Chelmsford. It's going to be in the Chelmsford Dog Park, April 12th, 1 to 3 p.m., 52 Richardson Road in North Chelmsford. Be there or big square, doll up your dog, and we'll see you then. This is a pretty cool idea. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. Tara Hung's doing this. Donut Owl with State Rep Hung, Tuesday, April 15th, 9:30 a.m., and it's going to be at, what is the name of the donut store? I don't know. I'll have to get it. Doesn't say what the name of the donut store is, but I'll get more information on it. But good idea, and I know it's the donut store up in the Highlands, but I just forget the name of it.
Maybe the Donut Shack, John, is that what it is?
No, not the Donut Shack.
No?
There's a new one up there.
Okay.
Cindy's Donuts or something like that.
Okay.
Forget what, I haven't been, it opens after 6, so we haven't had donuts from there
okay.
yet. Okay, Lowell High Job Fair. This is really great. You got a kiddo, or you're an old buckaroo like me, and you want to change careers, check this out. Just go, they got a QR code. Take your smartphone out of your pocket, put it in camera mode, and zero in on this. It'll bring you to a website that explains this a little bit more. And if you're thinking of changing careers, whether you're in high school, college, I don't care how old you are, you can go to this thing Thursday, April 17th at Lowell High, 8 to 10 a.m. Lowell High School, by the way, for out-of-towners is 50 Morissette Boulevard. Gigantic parking garage across the street, so plenty of room for everybody. Consider going down there if you want to change jobs. If you want more information, you can call Colleen Gabriel. Her phone numbers are down here. She got an email. So just take your fancy phone out of your pocket, take a picture of this whole slide if you're interested in changing careers. Rita Mercier is having a party, a campaign party. Re-elect Rita M. Mercier, City Council at large. Come to the Bunting Club, which is in South Lowell, 449 Boylston Street, Friday, April 18th. That's this week. No, next week. And next week, $10 to get in, and don't eat that day. Just show up, and you're going to walk out full. She always has a fantastic buffet. Neighborhood meetings. Okay, I don't care what. Just take your eyes off your iPad or whatever you're playing with there. Look up at the screen. If you're interested in going to a neighborhood meeting, the Lowell Police puts this out, and these are all the neighborhood meetings in the city that they're aware of. There are other neighborhood groups, but they're not registered with the city of Lowell, with the police department, so we don't know when you're going to meet. But all the sections of the cities are represented here. They usually meet every other month. Some meet every month. Good group of people. So if you want more information about your neighborhood, take your phone out of your pocket, take a picture of this slide, and hope to see you at the next neighborhood meeting. And today is April 9th, which means the Lowell Senior Center is proud to have lunch 7 days a week. Show up at 10:30. The sit-down's at 11. If you got the money, we want $2 out of you. If you don't have the money, you can eat for free. But today is teriyaki chicken breast.
Ooh.
Hope to see you down there. And that's my last announcement. Bob, back over to you and the mayor. Thank you.
He's always talking about food anyways, Danny,
love
you know what I
Danny.
mean?
When was the last time
You
you
know-
ate, Bob?
I didn't eat yet. I didn't have breakfast yet. Normally I do, but I was rushed out of the house today. That's just another story. But getting back to the mayor here, Dan, I worked for 4 different mayors on 4 different school committees, and I haven't seen one out of those 4 that know how to control a meeting like you do. I missed it last night. I watch it. I try to watch it all the time. I don't watch the school committee at all. I just don't like watching that, and I'd rather be on it, in which I am going to run citywide this time to try to get back on. But as far as mayors go, I'd be really happy if you were the 5th mayor that I work for. The way you handle those meetings, I go back a few, maybe 3 or 4 meetings ago, when you were almost forced to throw a few of them out. I loved it. I just loved it. And I think that's probably, if I was to evaluate you, that would be your highest score, how you handle a meeting. I think you're doing a tremendous job, buddy, so keep up the good
I
work.
appreciate it. I make a point that everybody gets to have their say. and we like to, follow the rules, and, we start right on time at 6:30, and I think the council appreciates it, I think the public appreciates it. We get, if a subject's going long, and, and a referral to a subcommittee is made where you can really dig into it and spend, 45 minutes to an hour on the subject. But yeah, I enjoy running the meetings. I think our council that we have does a great job. They're very respectful of each other and the rules as well. And then I think that goes on to the to the city manager and his team is look at, we're there to do the people's business. Let's get it done and move on.
Got two messages from the audience. I didn't know the screen was up there. Sorry about that. The cobblestone streets, Middle and Shattuck, are a three-ring circus. How are the women navigating walking on cobblestones with high heels? I guess you skip your high heels.
We're walking on a sidewalk.
But, so Danny, speaking of this, is there any plans to take a look at that, smooth it out?
I don't think so, John.
Okay.
No.
Then we'll
And
move
again,
on.
if there is a plan, I'll check it out. But the sidewalks are there for anybody in heels. That's I get you, and it's like Bob said, it's part of the history of the city, and I think it's just where we're at right now with it.
It's a great way to slow the traffic down.
Yeah,
It's a great way.
Well, it's funny when you said that because when people always want their street paved, right?
Yeah.
And I talked to a couple of residents on West Meadow Road, that connects Mammoth and Vonham Ave, and sure, we're going to repave it, but be careful what you wish for, right?
Danny, I think your dad's watching here.
Yeah.
Good morning. I would 100% agree with Bob. Mayor Rourke has done an absolute great job in Lowell, both on city and school side. Keep up the wonderful work, and thank you for your service. Hope you have a great day.
Yeah.
I know that's not your dad, but I'm just making fun of you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm sure I know he is watching, John.
But while we're
so.
talking about the mayor stuff, now, rumor around town is that you want to keep the mayor's seat for next term. I know you got to win first and all the other good stuff. Rita Mercia, rumor around town is she wants to be mayor next time. Have you two talked about that at all? And if you can't say, don't say.
No, look, it's not something that I've given much thought about. We still have 8-9 months to go here. I do think we're doing a lot of good things in the city. So, yeah, all that it's definitely premature, and I don't think anybody would comment on it at this point in time. And look at we'll just take it for what it's worth. I think the city's in a good position right now. We're heading in the right direction. We've got a lot of positive things coming forward. And, it has nothing to do with me personally or any councilor personally. I think us as a whole, what we have done, I think has really helped the city, not only for the presently, but for the future. And that's the only concern I think any of us have right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just believe what you've done in the past couple of years and what the city council has done, you're going to get more people coming out to run too, finally. I'm just looking at my district, there's 4 different people running for that seat. Incredible. So it's going to be quite a year, you can say that. And I love to just say it the way I say it, okay? When I watch that meeting, all I watch is you and Eric Getchia. That's all I watch. Because to me, city council-wise, I'm not saying mayors, he's about as sharp as I've seen one in a long time. And he has to work with a person like you that, you're your own person too. It's beautiful to watch. It's almost as good as watching the Golden Gloves. I'd rather watch the city council meeting. But
Personal side of things here, I'm going to talk about this video in a second. This past week, we've had some episodes on City Life that one day we lost connectivity, so we weren't on Lowell for the whole day. And people want to know, did they shut the show off? No, Comcast just killed the signal, so we lost connectivity. That's why so there's no delivery there, it's just Comcast shut the signal off. It was down for 20 minutes, was down for about an hour and 20 minutes. Came back up after 8, but no harm done there. Then yesterday, the guys came from LASA and explained the free thing the free health conference that they're going to have at LASA, the former Lowell Lodge of Elks. And somehow LTC didn't record it, so it didn't get replayed in the afternoon. So my apologies for that. And I've had, so no harm, nobody did anything deliberately, it just happens. Stuff happens.
Yeah, drop back really quick. The LASA folks, Love All, Save All, they came to Tuckerville and, the old Elks Club about 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yep.
And they have been nothing but an exemplary, positive neighbor for the neighborhood and for the city overall. The work that Sushil and VJ do over there, constantly giving back to the community. I just sat down with them a couple of weeks ago, talking about the clinic coming up this Saturday, and the partnerships that they have with the Merrimack Valley Food Bank, and they're trying to get now with the Boys and Girls Club, the shelter, Elliott Church. I mean, they are just all over the place. They want to take this clinic and maybe travel it around to different agencies. I know they're in contact with the CMAA as well. They are really, really so selfless in what they're doing, and these are professionals that have full-time jobs. Doctors, attorneys, people in finance that you would think that would consume most of their personal time as well as their professional time, but they are there they have just been so spectacular for the city of Lowell, and we're very, very thankful for everything they're doing. And I think this is maybe, like you said, John, the fourth or fifth one of these clinics that they do. And
free.
You can
Absolutely
go.
free.
You can get checked out for anything. Diabetes, and you get your eyes checked. Blood
Dentist.
pressure. Everything is going to be in one place. And these are total professionals that just give and give and get nothing in return. And that's the way they want it. So,
Well, my
really
personal
great.
doctor, he goes there, so I know that you get great doctors that are going there, and they're working that day for free, so it's something to certainly consider. And I don't know what happened to my TikTok video, it just, okay. Now, I've got like 3 people ask me about this video this morning. People sent it to me. This is off TikTok at ABC News, maybe I think that's Chicago, Channel 7. And this happened in Pennsylvania last week, and it's a terrible thing where the whole grave caved in. And these guys are carrying the casket over to the grave, and I'm going to hit play and see what happens here. And if it doesn't work, I'll find another video. But it's terrible. Where the whole thing collapses right in the grave. It's awful.
Oh,
And
wow.
I've never seen such a consequence, and it's a terrible thing that happened. And there are ways to prevent this from happening, and there'll be an investigation for this. But I will tell you that OSHA is not involved with the cemeteries. OSHA just lets the cemeteries do whatever they want to do, and there's no safety net involved. The City of Lowell guys are fantastic. Same thing with the St. Pat's guys, St. Joe's, Lowell Cemetery. If the ground conditions are not safe, they make us aware of it. And so we will, oftentimes we'll have the graveside services in the chapels that they have, or we'll have them on the roadway near the grave, and the cemetery staff will take the casket over to the grave, not the pallbearers. Whenever there's a dangerous condition, I don't care if it's the City of Lowell Cemetery, Tewksbury Cemetery, any cemetery that's out there, they're very protective of the public. I'll learn more about this consequent, what happened, and terrible thing, but I don't think it's possible to happening in our community.
So, John, is this something? So, is there like a state or a local ordinance or rule that you can't dig in January or February? You have to do it in a certain months of the year. Or is it,
365, Dan.
Okay.
365.
Yeah. So getting back to the show here,
Meaning, no, there's no
oh,
regulation.
okay.
a few things I want to say to you before I ask you the final question is, number one, I have to deal with an in-law of yours. I'm pretty sure his name's Jim McQuaid. We call him Quaker. Very political, always on my ear. We go back and forth.
Probably watching this morning.
And maybe
I
someone.
call him a pain in the ass.
Well, one of my one of my favorite people of all time since I've been a little boy was a guy named Stanley McQuaid,
Oh, yeah,
Weber. Is Weber related to you
That's
through marriage?
that's April's uncle.
Yeah, well, Weber was one of the nicest human beings in our neighborhood, taught us how to swim in the canals and stay safe and survive. That's
Yep.
all he taught me,
Uncle
so
Stanley.
I want to throw a plug out there to Weber. I call him Weber.
Yeah, I hadn't seen Jimmy in a while, and I saw him at the finals of the Gold Gloves last month. I hate to say it, but he looked great. We had a good conversation, and he's part of April's family, and good guy. So he's retired now. He's doing well, and it was good to see him.
We go back and forth at each other all the
Yeah.
time. But the budget, coming up. Could you just give us a little update
Yeah, we
when
got
it's
two of
starting?
them. The school one obviously is the one that I think we'll probably be more focused on this year. Not to say that we won't be on the city side. I think we have planned May, the second week of May. We'll do our hearing. I think we'll start either at 7 or 7:30, and it'll probably take a couple of different nights. But obviously with the ESSA funds going away, there's going to be some challenges upcoming that the school committee's going to have to take a look at. Very similar to the city side. There's many requests go in to the school superintendent for different programmings and initiatives, and you got to find a way to pay for those things. So. It is a difference, being the mayor and going through the budget process once on the school side and then going through it numerous amount of times on the city side. There's a clear and distinct difference, between the two. Not to say one way is better than the other, but yeah, I mean, it's just it'll be initially presented to us the next couple of meetings, and then we will hopefully approve it in mid-May. And we'll see what happens because, like I said, the loss of the ESSA money is going to have an impact on our budget.
I can see that. I can see the school's definitely looking to save money somehow, some way.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that coming.
Yeah, on the same side, in the cities, it won't be different, right? All the COVID money that had come into the city side, that all has to be appropriated by, but it was all appropriated by December of '24, and has to be spent 100% spent by 2026. So it's coming up fast. So there's a lot of things that we have to get done, through opera on the city side and through ESSER on the school side, and and thankfully on both the school committee and the city council, the leadership, the administrations are in a good spot, and it'll be up to the members of each individual body to decide how and that money's going to be spent.
I just want to throw this last thing out. Most of my life I was into roofing and construction, and my son's a builder right now. They're building at St. Louis Church over there, putting like 21 units inside that old church, and Dave Daly's building again. So my plug goes out to the building department because to me it's gotten a lot better over the past few years, let me put it that way. Sean Machado is one name I'd throw out
Fantastic.
there. He's made things really good and easier for people, so my hat goes off to these guys doing a
Yeah,
good job. Dan.
I think, and obviously I'm a fan of the manager, but I think the best thing he has done in his 3+ years as city manager is hire the team around him. I've heard many compliments concerning Sean Machado for all the work that he does in our DPD team, and like you said, Bob, our permit team, our building department. Very proactive, and that's what we want, right? We want people going out to the community to find those that want to come here and to build here and to live here, but then when those concerns come in, and look, it can't be easy, right? There's 11 councilors now. We're all probably calling for things that we want to get done, need to be done, and motions that are filed. The motions again will be at an all-time high this year as compared to previous years. So. Good for him and the people that he has put around him, because they make the city look good and make the city councils look good, and I think that'd be a general opinion of the body.
And last thing I'll say to you today is another compliment is in my lifetime, I've never seen a mayor and a city council focus on maintenance of our schools as much as they have in the past couple of years.
Yeah, that's something that we have. Lowell has utilized the MSBA process, I think, more than any other community in the Commonwealth. Just less than a month ago, we put in a request for 9 more schools, and we're expected to be granted the funds for those 9 schools. We're going to have our own facilities department at Lowell High School, the new school. Hopefully in this budget season, we're going to put that in there. So think about it, right? We're going to have a specific team just at the high school. So, that has been, along with homelessness and other issues, has been at the top of the agenda for this city council over the past 3.5 years now. And, it's, you go through some tough times, and no one likes a tax increase. I understand it. But I think now you're starting to see the benefits of the revenue being brought in, of how it can go out and be spent appropriately for the betterment of the city. And like you said, Bob, I think the maintenance of the schools is probably right at the top of that list.
It's been huge. I think, I can only speak for the Riley School, the things that have been done the past
Yeah, you
couple of
guys just
years.
got a new boiler in there a
Yeah,
while ago, right?
it's all- it's all
yeah.
good.
And we're gonna get a roof over at the Pawtucket Memorial School, so it's a lot of stuff coming online.
Budget right in here. Tomorrow, City Life, we got Evelyn Thorin's gonna be here. Bobby Hoey's gonna be here. Evelyn's husband, Dr. Glenn Thorin, he's coming.
I met the doctor yesterday, John, at over at UMass Lowell for the Link project announcement, so.
He
that's-
wants to come in and talk about that, exactly.
Yep.
And Vivian Miller, she's coming too. And also, this was supposed to be in the mix. I don't know what happened here. But Sakari Chow's having a party. And it's going to be Khmer and Southeast Asian New Year celebration with Sakari Chow. And it's going to be, it's not for him. Like, it's just a party he wanted me to announce. Okay. Saturday, April 19th, 7 to midnight at Sampayas Mia's Restaurant, 150 Chelmsford Street, Lowell. Enjoy your 5-course dinner. Those people do know how to put out food, man. They put out a great spread. And seating is limited, $50 a ticket. There's a phone number you can call. And it's a fundraiser for Sakari, so CTE, make the check out to CTE, Sakari Chow. And back over to you guys, time is short.
Well, Dan, thanks for coming on this morning, and if there's anything, announcements you want to make right now?
Oh, thanks for coming in. When Linda sent the text to John and I earlier this morning, I thought it was going to be me and him going back and forth, and that can get sketchy once in a while. So I think, so a good buffer, Bob. You know what I mean? But no, and I know we talked earlier before we started the show. Just want to just give a quick mention to my dad, who is going to be heading in for surgery pretty soon, and he's a big fan of John's and watches the show, and just want to pass along all the best. And
Your dad's a Cadillac of a guy. I
yeah,
never met
thank you very
somebody
much,
who's
yeah.
so proud of their son. Your dad's a great guy.
Well, I just found out he's my age, 70, so you're never too old or too young. You got to be careful. And thank God someone got to him in time, because a stroke is no joke.
Yeah, it's a great story that how him and John first met. We were at what Chinese restaurant you guys were at, the Lokai maybe or something like that, and so they're sitting there, and my dad heard John talking about me, and something, and so my father buys him a drink and tells John who he is, and John didn't believe him. Yeah, so
Small world.
yeah, small world.
I was
yeah,
saying good things.
That's right. Yeah, so he said, he goes, "Oh man,
your dad's a good-
that could
very
have gone
proud
100
of
different ways." You know what I mean? But no, he's been a fan ever since, and him being retired now, and I know he watches religiously. So
Yeah, so I know a lot of the Rourkes. I knew Andy Rourke real well, I told you, and I believe his son is a police chief or something
yeah,
somewhere.
Kevin, great guy. He's
Great
the,
baseball player, too.
Police chief, Nashville Police now for a few years, and very fortunate to have a wonderful family that's very supportive, and Kevin's a good dude.
And how about the parks? You think we're going to get them all up to snuff for
Yeah,
baseball
last night
season?
Shannon Cohen was there last night. He gave us an update. This 20-degree weather that doesn't help, but mulching has started. A lot of the fields have been done already. They're going to work on the rest of them. I think we have the opening day parade on April 26th. I think Council Gitche let me know that last night at the council meeting. It's going to be on a Saturday. So, yeah, baseball has really come back in the city of Lowell. It was down for a while, but again, that same group that you talked about earlier, Bob, with Brian Durkin and Matt Alasher and Chris Weil, those guys.
Amazing.
Had done a really good job of bringing it back in, and it's looking forward to another good season.
Great, yeah. Baseball, to me, is very important. I don't think we'll bring it back to the way it was, but we got to try. So I think you guys are doing a great job in that area.
Yeah,
too.
those guys, they went from individual neighborhood leagues to a citywide league, and I think it's created a real boom in in kids participating and playing, and both on the boys' side and for girls softball. A couple of my cousin Brian, his daughter Christina plays softball, outstanding player, great kid. So looking forward to another fun season.
And how
We're
many?
going to say goodbye. It's 28 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Don't let little Bobby or little Danny walk to school today.
Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
Take care. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. You're the
All
best.
right.
Thanks.